Akashvani presents Morning News. Good morning, I'm Anuja Kumar. The headlines. US President Joe Biden to visit Israel and European Union leaders to hold emergency summit as Israel Hamas conflict escalates. Prime Minister Modi to inaugurate third edition of Global Maritime India Summit virtually today. External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar says stronger India-Vietnam partnership contributes to a stable, secure and prosperous Indo-Pacific. Prime Minister exhorts Google to work on artificial intelligence tools for good governance during interaction with CEO Sundar Pichai. And in ICC Cricket World Cup, Australia breaks its losing streak, beating Sri Lanka by 5 wickets in Lucknow last night. South Africa-Netherlands match to be held in Dharamsala this afternoon. And now the news in detail. US President Joe Biden will visit Israel tomorrow. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken announced this from Tel Aviv in the early hours today. US President Joe Biden yesterday said terrorist organization Hamas does not represent all Palestinian people and insisted that it should be entirely eliminated.
Hamas and the extreme elements of Hamas don't represent all the Palestinian people. There needs to be a Palestinian Authority. There needs to be a path to a Palestinian state.
Biden also warned that Israeli occupation of Gaza would be a big mistake. Biden in his statement said he supports a humanitarian corridor that allows people to get out of Gaza as well as the delivery of humanitarian aid, including food and water. He added that he was confident that Israel is going to act under the rules of war. This comes amid criticism of Israel for flouting all international norms since the beginning of the conflict. In the meantime, European Union leaders are likely to hold an emergency summit today as concern mounts that the war between Israel and the Palestinian terrorist group Hamas could fuel intercommunal tensions in Europe and bring more refugees in search of sanctuary. The meeting will also focus on getting aid to civilians and working with other countries in the region to try to stop tensions from spreading. The war between Israel and the Hamas terrorists entered its 11th day today and is expected to escalate further. Israel's death toll mounted to 1,400 and more than 2,800 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza, taking the total death count close to 4,200 on both sides. However, amid the growing tensions, the Pentagon is rapidly doubling the amount of American firepower deployed in the Middle East in an effort to deter a wider regional war. U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd J. Austin III said that U.S. had ordered a second aircraft carrier, Eisenhower, to join Gerald R. Ford carrier in the eastern Mediterranean to deter hostile actions against Israel. The U.S. Air Force is also rushing additional land-based attack planes to the Persian Gulf region. For Israel and the Palestinians' immediate neighbors, Egypt and Jordan, the fear of displacement and destabilization crossing their borders is paramount. Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin told Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu that Moscow wanted to help prevent a humanitarian disaster in Gaza. In a statement, Kremlin said Putin expressed Russia's willingness to work towards ending the Palestinian-Israeli confrontation and achieving a peaceful settlement through political and diplomatic means. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the third edition of the Global Maritime India Summit in Mumbai via video conferencing today. The summit will be held till the 19th of this month. Our correspondent reports that the summit is the biggest maritime event in the country. It will witness participation of ministers from across the globe, representing countries from Europe, Africa, South America, and Asia. The summit will also be attended by global CEOs, business leaders, investors, officials, and other stakeholders from across the world. Several Indian states will also be represented in the summit by the ministers and other dignitaries. During the program, the Prime Minister will unveil Amrit Kal Vision 2047, the long-term blueprint for the Indian maritime blue economy. The blueprint outlines strategic initiatives aimed at enhancing port facilities, promoting sustainable practices, and facilitating international collaboration. The Prime Minister will also inaugurate, dedicate to the nation, and lay the foundation stone of projects worth more than 23,000 crore rupees that are aligned with the Amrit Kal Vision 2047. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar met Prime Minister of Vietnam, Pham Minh Chinh, in Vietnam. Both leaders discussed ways to boost bilateral relationships. In a social media post, Dr. Jaishankar said a stronger India-Vietnam partnership contributes to a stable, secure, and prosperous Indo-Pacific. The External Affairs Minister also met the chairman of the External Relations Commission of the Communist Party of Vietnam, Le Hoi Trung, during the second day of his visit to Vietnam. He is on an official visit to Vietnam till tomorrow. He reached Hanoi on Sunday. During the visit, he also met with former Vietnamese Foreign Minister Nguyen Di Nguyen and met with Le Hoi Trung, chairman of the External Relations Commission of the Communist Party of Vietnam. The convergent approach of India and Vietnam on key regional and global issues was manifest. Earlier, Dr. Jaishankar addressed the Diplomatic Academy of Vietnam on India in the Indo-Pacific. The External Affairs Minister will travel to Singapore tomorrow. Additional Secretary in the Ministry of External Affairs, Arindam Bagchi, has been appointed as the next ambassador or permanent representative of India to the United Nations and other international organizations in Geneva. Ministry of External Affairs in a statement has said that he is expected to take up the assignment soon. Arindam Bagchi is an Indian Foreign Service officer of the 1995 batch. Presently, he is also the spokesperson of the External Affairs Ministry in addition to being the additional secretary. This is Akashvani giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. In Madhya Pradesh, political parties have begun their campaign to woo the voters as only 1 month is left for the assembly election in the state. Voting will be held in the state on the 17th of next month. Counting of votes will take place on 3rd of December. Our correspondent reports that parties are organizing rallies, meetings and conferences to chalk out strategies and seek support of voters.
Ruling BJP is organizing Shakti Sammelan in the state from today till October 19. During this period, workers at every booth will take the plea of Prachand Booth Vijay, means oath for unprecedented winning. The Chief Minister, Union Ministers, national and state leaders will be present in these conferences to be held at around 12,000 Shakti Kendras. Meanwhile, the main opposition party Congress will release its manifesto for Madhya Pradesh today. The party has named it Vachan Patra. Sanjeev Sharma, Akashvani News, Bhopal.
In Telangana, political parties have entered campaign mode even before the issuance of notification for the assembly elections. All major parties have launched high-level campaign before the finalization of candidates. Polling for 119-seat Telangana Assembly will be held on the 30th of November and the notification will be issued on 30th of this month. More from our correspondent.
As the date of notification for the assembly elections fast approaching, all major political parties in the state have entered campaign mode even before announcing their candidates. Bharat Rashtra Samiti Chief and State Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao kicked off the poll campaign for the party at Husnabad 2 days ago and held poll rallies at Jangaon and Bhongir yesterday. The BJP kick-started its campaign with the Union Minister and party senior leader Amit Shah electioneering from Adilabad. The National Party is yet to announce its candidates and release manifesto. Meanwhile, Congress star campaigners Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi Vadra are scheduled to kick off the poll campaign in the state tomorrow. The National Party has already announced its first list of candidates with 55 names. Lakshmi, Akashvani News, Hyderabad.
President Draupadi Murmu will confer the 69th National Film Awards in New Delhi today. Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur will be the guest of honor. Rocketry, The Nambi Effect, directed by R. Madhavan, has been adjudged as the best feature film for the year 2021. Allu Arjun has won the Best Actor award for Pushpa, The Rise. Alia Bhatt and Kriti Sanon will share the Best Actress Award for Gangubai Kathiawadi and Mimi. Pallavi Joshi will get the Best Supporting Actress Award for Kashmir Files and Pankaj Tripathi will get the Best Supporting Actor Award for Mimi. RRR bagged the award for Best Popular Film, providing wholesome entertainment, and The Kashmir Files, directed by Vivek Agnihotri, will get the Nargis Dutt Award for Best Film on National Integration. Prime Minister Narendra Modi virtually interacted with Google and Alphabet CEO Sundar Pichai. They discussed Google's plan to participate in expanding the electronics manufacturing ecosystem in India. The Prime Minister appreciated Google's partnership with HP to manufacture Chromebooks in India. He acknowledged Google's 100-language initiative and encouraged efforts to make AI tools available in Indian languages. The Prime Minister also encouraged Google to work on AI tools for good governance. He welcomed Google's plans to open its Global Fintech Operations Center at the Gujarat International Finance Tech City in Gandhinagar. Mr. Pichai informed the Prime Minister about Google's plans to improve financial inclusion in India by leveraging the strength and reach of GPay and UPI. The Prime Minister invited Google to contribute to the upcoming Global Partnership on AI Summit, which will be hosted by India in December this year in New Delhi. On to sports. In the ICC Cricket World Cup, Australia have broken their losing streak, defeating Sri Lanka by 5 wickets in Lucknow last night. Batting first, Sri Lankan side was bundled out for 209 in 43.3 overs. For Australia, Adam Zampa led the fight as he scalped 4 wickets. In reply, Australia cruised to 215 for 5 in 35.2 overs, even though their top order was dismissed cheaply. Mitchell Marsh gave his side hope with a knock of 52 off 51 balls. Inglis, on his arrival, accelerated the chase with Labuschagne, and finally an unbeaten quick-fire knocks of Glenn Maxwell and Marcus Stoinis wrapped up the chase for Australia with some excellent boundaries. Australia have 2 points to their credit after 3 games in the ongoing ODI World Cup and are placed 8th above Sri Lanka and the Netherlands. They will take on Pakistan in their upcoming fixture at the M. Chinnaswamy Stadium in Bengaluru on 20th of October. In today's fixture, South Africa will aim to maintain their winning streak intact when they take on the Netherlands at Dharamsala. The match will begin at 2 p.m. Indian Council for Cultural Relations ICCR on World Food Day announced the names of the first batch of recipients of Annapurna certificate. This certificate is a unique initiative of ICCR to recognize foreign-based Indian restaurants that contribute to India's global cultural relations by preserving and promoting Indian culinary and cuisine traditions. The 6 restaurants which have been selected are from San Francisco, Oman, Costa Rica, Mongolia, Sweden and Sri Lanka. President of ICCR, Dr. Vinay Sahasrabuddhe, addressing the conference, said that people need to do away with the stereotype that culture is only music and dance. Instead, culture is a broad concept.
भारत इसके पहले कि कहीं पहुंचे, कई बार भारतीय अन्न पहुंच जाता है। भारत की ये जो खाद्य परंपरा है, इसमें जिन्होंने भरसक योगदान दिया है, ऐसे सैकड़ों रेस्टोरेंट्स विश्व के कोने-कोने में आज भी काम कर रहे हैं। इनका जो योगदान है, उसको एक दृष्टि से स्वीकृति देने के लिए हमने
And now for a look at today's newspapers, it's over to Ramya.
Thank you, Anuja. Theatre of war expands in West Asia. Humanitarian aid stalled at Israeli siege strains hospitals' water supply is a top front page headline in The Pioneer. State can raise baby. SC refuses to allow woman to abort 26-week fetus, writes the Tribune. Akal Takht bans Sikh rituals at beach wedding, states the Times of India, prohibiting the installation of the Guru Granth Sahib during destination weddings. A headline in the Hindustan Times says, known for wine, Nashik is the next aircraft manufacturing hub as HAL spreads wings. And finally, delivering a massive boost to the game's global ambitions, cricket gets a shot in the arm as IOC approves it for 2028 LA Olympics after 128 years, states the Hindu. And with that, it's back to you, Anuja.
Thank you, Ramya. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. US President Joe Biden to visit Israel and European Union leaders to hold emergency summit as Israel-Hamas conflict escalates. Prime Minister Modi to inaugurate third edition of Global Maritime India Summit virtually today. External Affairs Minister Dr. Jaishankar says stronger India-Vietnam partnership contributes to a stable, secure and prosperous Indo-Pacific. And in ICC Cricket World Cup, Australia breaks its losing streak, beating Sri Lanka by 5 wickets in Lucknow last night. And with that, we end the morning news.